What is going on, everybody? I am back, and for the first time since last Thursday, it feels good to be talking about a Mariners win tonight. The Mariners defeat the Angels 11-2, play their first real complete game of the season, offensively and pitching, getting the job done. A lot of kudos to go around tonight, and a good example tonight why we can't look too much into 5 games and start looking at the numbers, because all these guys, like I've said in my previous videos, they're all a 3 for 3 away from being right up there and having big numbers on the season. And some guys did that tonight. Teoscar Hernandez off the schneid gets 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. AJ Pollock hits 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. So 2 guys that were struggling to start the year are now, have good numbers on the season. So it's why you can't look into 4 or 5 games too much. Oddly enough, the Mariners didn't draw a walk today, surprisingly. But multiple, in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys in the lineup had multiple hits. 7 had hits total. The only 2 guys that didn't have hits were Tom Murphy and J.P. Crawford at the bottom of the order. But a really nice sort of offensive explosion for this team to come out of a mini funk to start the season. And get the bats going. I thought they've been swinging the bats better since really Saturday. I mean, honestly, if you really want to look at it, Saturday was really the only day where they really just struggled. Even opening night against Bieber, they put a lot of runners on. Friday they scored 4. Not that 4 runs is amazing, but they did score 4. Saturday, obviously, they didn't do anything. Sunday they put up 5. And yesterday they scored 3. And again, none of this is amazing, but they've been they're getting better. They're starting to get some guys on base here. We even had a productive out as A.J. Pollock had an RBI ground out. So we finally had the first productive out of the season. Of course, it comes on a night when they didn't need it. But, good to see. I've been getting on them for that. So they finally do it. They also hit a bunch of home runs to help as well. 4 home runs total for the Mariners tonight. Luis Castillo was really good, 5 2/3, 2 hits, 2 walks, 6 Ks. I think he's now given up, 3 or 4 hits all season in his 2 outings. So he gets his first win of the year. Technically, he was a no decision on opening night. Bullpen did its job. Paul Sewald struggled a little bit, but, outside of the walk to Phillips wasn't great. But, the Trout hit wasn't smashed or anything. A couple just kind of balls that fell in. I know some people wondering why Brash and Sewald pitched in a game in which the Mariners had big leads. Yesterday, Penn Murphy pitched, Matt Festa pitched, Diego Castillo pitched, and then Festa and Castillo, threw a lot of pitches. And early in the season, I'm sure Scott is trying to avoid using guys on back-to-back days as much as possible. Now, Matt Brash is probably good to go tomorrow. He only threw 5 pitches. But the goal is to not have to use guys back-to-back early in the season, which is key. So that's why you didn't see, Castillo back out there or Penn Murphy back out there. Sewald probably not available to go for tomorrow, but, Brash definitely will be, and you have Munoz still down there and Castillo. So they should be fine with what they have for tomorrow. But I just saw some people making that point on Twitter. That would be the reason why. So it was either going to be Munoz, Spire, or Sewald. Sewald and Spire both pitched. Someone's got to pitch those. And Flexton now is not in the bullpen anymore, with Robbie Ray going on the injured list. So you don't have that guy that can pitch 3 innings out of the bullpen. Just feels good to get a win. Winning feels good. Winning is the cure for all. I always say that in every sport. If anybody's in a funk, if anything's going on, the best thing, if the guys are going at each other, that's not what was happening here, but if you've got a team that's happening, the best thing you can do is win ball games. The Mariners do that tonight, so they get back on track, and it's good. You don't, we're still so early in the year. This win doesn't automatically solve anything for the team, and the losses didn't mean that they were in a bad spot. It's just, you don't want to bury yourself early. If you can play 500 ball, for the first month or so, you're going to hopefully hit a hot streak at some point. What's the old adage that every team wins 60, every team loses 60. It's what you do with those 42 in between. Now, you don't want to, be 10 and 60 and go, oh, well, that's fine because we're going to lose 60 anyways. But, there is some truth to that. So it's the first month or so. I was it's feel a lot of things out. As long as you don't bury yourself, there shouldn't be any problems here. So and the Mariners obviously haven't done that yet. But yeah, good to see the vibes back to being good. I mean, getting into some individual performances. Talk about Luis Castillo. I said it yesterday. Kind of those Felix Hernandez vibes. I said it that. When Felix went out there, you felt like you had a chance every day. Now, the teams around him were some really bad teams, but you always felt like, okay, we're on a losing streak. Felix can turn it around. And I said, Luis Castillo, you're looking for him to do that. And he did it. He went out there and dominated, gave up that double to Taylor Ward to start off the game, thinking, here we go. You got Trout, Ohtani. We're going to get down early. Didn't happen. He shoved. Threw 99 pitches today as opposed to his 75 from opening night, which honestly is good. You don't want Castillo throwing 110, 115 this early in the season. You assume you're going to need him in August and September to throw a lot of pitches in some of those. And like I say, in the dog days, when you get into the dog days of summer, you're going to need those outings. So if you can get him out under 100 and feel pretty confident you're going to win the game, that's a good thing. Offensively, I mean, Julio just continues to crush the ball. I didn't see the first double. I just had to step out for a minute during the first double he had in the first inning. But the one and then he scored on the wild pitch. But the one in the, I want to say it was the fourth or fifth, probably the fourth would be my guess. The one he hit off the wall. I mean, just 106 exit velocity. It left the dent in the center field wall. I haven't seen a ball at T-Mobile get out that fast to the fence. I mean, that thing was just a rocket out there. It just wasn't high enough, but it certainly had the velocity and the power to get out. So, I mean, Julio's just absolutely crushing the ball. 4 doubles on the year. He's got a home run. Honestly, as it gets warmer, I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but as it gets warmer, I mean, he could have easily had 2 or 3 of those be home runs. He is off to an MVP level start. Ty France just continues to hit. He had a double and a base hit that was deep in the hole that Fletcher made the play on, but it was too deep in the hole. And Teoscar Hernandez just crushed both home runs. I couldn't believe the first one. He kind of looked away from it, knowing that it was gone. I thought for a second that he got underneath it. I'm like, oh my God, he popped that up. That looked crushed. Because normally dead center T-Mobile, that's a poke to get it out there. So I figured he got underneath it. No, it was just that much of a bomb. So, and then the second one was out at every ballpark in baseball. Was a no doubt about it home run. So one just great to see that power show. I was never worried about Teoscar Hernandez. I said in my videos. Listen, some of these guys are going to be streaky, and Teoscar's kind of one of those guys. He is going to have a 10-game stretch where the Mariners go 8-2, and he hits 7 home runs, something like that, where he just carries the team. There's going to be some moments where he's probably missing the ball, whatnot, but this is a guy with one of the hardest hit rates in MLB. His hard hit ball rate was like 50% or something. Where the league average like 32. His barrel rate was like 15%, and the league average is 8. I don't have the Fangraphs numbers up in front of me right now, but something just absolutely insane. So he's going to hit some balls out of the ballpark, and T-Mobile ain't going to hold him in. So great to see that. Gino continues to have a quietly kind of good start. He hasn't gotten on the home run board yet, but 2 more hits, 2 singles for him. He's hitting .333 to start the year. Cal Raleigh off to a really nice start. He had a ringing double right-handed, which is good to see. Cal's a better right-handed hitter, I think people get him credit for, but it's considered his weaker side. And he had a ringing double. He had a little soft looper for a base hit and an RBI. That gives him now 5 RBIs on the season. Excuse me. And not at bat, he just missed a home run. So Cal's off to a nice start. Good to see A.J. Pollock get on the board. Normally a guy that you have in there to hit lefties, but he takes out his power stroke against the righties tonight, hitting 2 home runs against right-handed pitchers. Did he hit them both off Barria? Yeah, he hit both of them off Jaime Barria. So, listen, Pollock has hit righties before. So it's not crazy that he could have some value. And if Jared Kelenic does struggle, Pollock may definitely see some more ABs there. Good to see Sam Haggerty get a hit. He's hit a couple balls hard so far this year with nothing to show for it. Tried to hustle it out to a double, couldn't do it. Don't blame him with his speed. Tom Murphy's off to a slow start. He did just miss a home run. In fact, it would have been out at about 3 or 4 ballparks. So good to see that at least, getting close. You got to remember, Murphy hasn't, I know he's there in spring training, but he hasn't seen MLB action in about a year. So it may take a few weeks for him to get going. I do expect he'll be able to hit left-handed pitching. Tom Murphy's another guy who's going to be streaky for this team. He's not a guy that's, a Ty France type hitter. He's going to get on a run and show some power and help carry this team. JP went 0 for 4, made some nice defensive plays. That's everybody in the lineup today. And like I said, outside of Murphy and Crawford, everybody did something. The pitching was good. Not only that, Mike Trout just 1 for 4, and his single came in the 8th when it was 11-0. Shohei Ohtani 0 for 2 with the walk. So you combine, they were 1 for 6 with a walk. Far cry from yesterday when Trout reached base 5 times and Ohtani homered. Keeping those guys off the base paths is key. And the Angels with 7 hits. Taylor Ward had a couple nice hits, but the Mariners did their job. They hit both Suarez and Barrea. The good news for on the Angels side is that they didn't have to dive into their bullpen too much. Not that they should really need it with Ohtani necessarily, but they do have pretty much their full arsenal ready to go for tomorrow. Another reason the Mariners but you really want them to get this one. You got a disadvantage tomorrow. You have Chris Flexen and Shohei Ohtani. Now, baseball is the sport that, the Nationals could get to Shohei Ohtani. The Angels lost the first Shohei Ohtani start of the year to the A's. Now, Ohtani was great, but, there's no guarantees in baseball, so that doesn't mean anything. But it's certainly a game where the Mariners are probably the underdogs betting-wise, so really nice that they could get today's. You'd love for them to win tomorrow, have a chance to win a series, go into the first off day of the season. I think a well-timed off day, in terms of just kind of hopefully they can win, have a little deep breath, go, okay, first homestand 3 and 4. We're at the 500 mark. We're okay here. So hopefully they can find a way to scrap some stuff out against Ohtani tomorrow and win the series. That is all I've got for the game. Nice W for the Mariners. Nice to talk about a win for the first time in a few days. So hopefully they continue it tomorrow. I'm going to win. I'll have the post-game recap up tomorrow. I'll still keep doing the shorts, so look out for those. Thursday's the off day. Thursday late afternoon, early evening, I'll probably have a series preview up as the Mariners go to their first road trip. They head to Cleveland and Chicago. I'll have a series preview with the Guardians. We haven't seen the Guardians forever, so there'll clearly be a lot to talk about there. But we'll have that up this week as well. Hit the sub button. Turn on notifications. Join the conversation down below. Let me know what you guys thought of the game, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and go M's. Peace.